Good afternoon, Assalamu alaikum. Let me introduce myself. My name is Rima Sadlikova and I'm adjunct associate professor at Webster University in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent and New Uzbekistan University. Today my topic is about how to plan and what is the importance of lesson planning. We talk about how to plan, how to implement and how to evaluate. There is a man going and if he doesn't have a roadmap, if he doesn't have a clear guidance and also a plan to go to the destination. So in education we call it lesson plan. Roadmap, that means when we have a lesson plan, then we can go to our destination and we reach our objectives because objectives are important in lesson plan. Predictable atmosphere of a classroom. So what does it mean? We may have anticipated problem. For example, we have our clear lesson plan, but maybe we have latecomers, or we may have diverse learners in our classroom. Today, we are empowering students to encourage inclusivity, and when we have diverse learners in our classroom, we should know how to approach them. Diverse learners doesn't mean if they have different levels or different age in our classroom, but diverse learner is also about a student with ADHD, for example, a student with autism. So they also have the same right as others to be in the classroom and to be respected and to be heard. Level, age, learning styles, personality maybe, characteristics. So we shouldn't just decide about the level and age, but we should decide about other factors. Like they may have different personalities, they may have different learning styles, or they may have different preferences. When we consider all of them together, then we can build effective classroom. For example, in one classroom maybe they prefer more to have group work, and in another classroom maybe they prefer more to have pair work. But if we have the combination of them, like individual work, pair work, group work, and whole class work, then the objectives can be language objective and also content objective. So after objective, here you can see one example for lesson plan. So this is the example how we start, while and post stages, and we should have warm-up and wrap-up session also. Why? Because with warm-up we can see the learners, latecomers, to sit and to be in our classroom before we start the topic. So warm-up session is very beneficial when we have latecomers. And wrap-up session, of course, after we analyze, after we teach our students, then we should have a wrap-up session. The students should know and should understand what they have learned in our classroom. How to implement lesson variety, lesson pacing, and class organization. Seating arrangement is also important. It's not only about lesson planning, it's not only about objective or how we meet our learners' preferences, necessities, needs, but it's also about classroom organization, how we set classroom management, how we set the seating arrangement, and so on. So activities should be beneficial and should be interesting for our learners, and what Dr. Arshad mentioned. He mentioned very good point about negative attitude. Actually, my students also, most of the time they come and they say, teacher, my students don't appreciate my lesson. They are using their mobile phones. But actually in that case, I always say, change your method, change your technique. Why they shouldn't use their mobile phones in this era? Why not to let them to use AI tools in our classroom and integrate digital tools? That means we should be more creative than our students, because students are integrating digital tools and AI tools into their learning process. Why not us? Why not teachers? So we should have not only good methods or technical strategies, but also we should know how to integrate digital tools and AI tools in our classroom. And here, Dr. Dehkan also mentioned about Corpora, COCA. So he supports Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget about learning by doing. I really appreciate what Dr. Dehkan mentioned here. We integrate COCA or Corpora, they can learn not only the vocabulary, but also they can see the frequency of vocabulary, what kind of vocabulary they can use in this context, what vocabulary they can use in another context. Or I really appreciate Dr. Grace here mentioned about teaching language shouldn't be only about grammar, it should be beyond grammar. So that means we should teach life skills also. How to use language in real life skills when they go for interview or when they go for other activities. Dr. Maria mentioned about being creative teacher. Yes, I really appreciate. I always say to my students, be creative. If we don't have creativity, creativity, even we are knowledgeable, even we have perfect knowledge to teach language, without creativity we cannot do anything. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you for a detailed talk.